What if I told you that creatures once feared by mammoths, whispered about by early humans, and glamorized by Game of Thrones are no longer fiction? Yes, I'm talking about dire wolves, the real ones, not CGI, not myth. Actual breathing, snarling, 100-kilogram apex predators, back from the dead. Sounds like science fiction, right? Like something out of Jurassic Park, or maybe a rejected Marvel plotline. Well, buckle up, because this story involves 13,000-year-old teeth, CRISPR gene editing, secret labs, 3 very real wolf pups named Romulus, Remus, and, yes, Khaleesi. And at the end of this wild journey, we're left with one massive hair-raising question. Are these actually dire wolves, or something entirely different? Stick with me till the end, because that answer, it's not what you think. Let's rewind a bit, because to understand why this is one of the most groundbreaking scientific achievements of our time, we need to go back, way back, like Ice Age back. Dire wolves weren't just bigger, badder versions of today's wolves. They were monsters of their time, stockier, more muscular, with jaws strong enough to crush bone. And we're talking megafauna bone. They hunted giant sloths, prehistoric bison, and yes, even baby mammoths. Think of them as the heavyweight champions of the Pleistocene epoch. They roamed across North and South America for nearly 100,000 years. And then around 10,000 years ago, poof, gone, extinct. Scientists believe climate shifts, disappearing prey, and maybe even competition with rising populations of grey wolves contributed to their downfall. But despite their disappearance, dire wolves never really left us. Why? Pop culture. From ancient folklore to modern fantasy, the dire wolf became a symbol of wild, untamable power, and then came HBO's Game of Thrones, where dire wolves weren't just pets, they were guardians, warriors, legends, and that made us want them back. But wanting something back from extinction and actually resurrecting it, two very different things. Enter a strange, almost sci-fi term, de-extinction. It sounds like something Elon Musk would tweet after 3 espressos, but it's very real. De-extinction is the process of bringing extinct species back using a mix of ancient DNA, modern technology, and a truckload of ethical debate. It's basically cloning with a twist, and it's no longer just theory. But here's the twist. Just because we can, does that mean we should? Some scientists are thrilled, others are horrified. What happens when we reintroduce a long-dead predator into a fragile modern ecosystem? What if we bring back a disease along with it? What if we revive something we can't control? Hold those questions. Because to understand how we got here, we need to meet the masterminds behind the modern-day resurrection of prehistoric beasts. Meet Colossal Biosciences. If there was a real-life version of Jurassic Park's InGen, this would be it, but with more lab coats and fewer raptors. This Dallas-based biotech company doesn't just want to bring back the dire wolf. Their shopping list includes the woolly mammoth, the dodo, and yes, the Tasmanian tiger. Basically, if it's extinct, they're interested. Their mission, de-extinction to rewild the Earth, which sounds noble, right? But it also sounds like the opening line of a dystopian novel. Still, Colossal isn't doing this for fun. They believe reviving extinct species could restore lost ecosystems, slow climate change, and even advance human medicine. And whether you see them as visionary heroes or mad scientists depends on how you feel about bringing creatures from the Ice Age into the 21st century. Let's get into the science, because this is where things go from fascinating to jaw-dropping. The first step in bringing back a dire wolf, finding its DNA. Easy, right? Just grab a bone and wait, 13,000 years? Well, not quite. Scientists managed to extract DNA from a fossilized dire wolf tooth found in Alaska, dated at over 13,000 years old. They also recovered DNA from a 72,000-year-old dire wolf ear bone buried in permafrost. Yes, ear bones. You never know what will come in handy during the Ice Age. But ancient DNA is like an old hard drive. It's degraded, fragmented, and filled with holes. So what do? You patch it. Using CRISPR, the gene editing tech that lets scientists snip and swap DNA like a Word doc, researchers took the ancient wolf genome and edited it into the DNA of a modern grey wolf, its closest living relative. We're talking microscopic precision, base pairs edited one by one, traits like jaw size, bone density, and even fur structure were coded back into existence. Then came the implantation phase. Edited embryos were placed into surrogates, specifically large dog breeds with compatible physiology. And after months of careful monitoring, the miracle happened. Romulus, Remus, Khaleesi, 3 names from myth and legend, and now 3 living, breathing pups, born in 2024. These aren't just any pups, they're larger than average, have a distinct skull shape, and even early signs of behavioral traits matching what scientists think dire wolves may have had. They're being raised in a high-security ecological preserve in Montana because, let's be honest, you don't just let prehistoric predators roam the suburbs yet. What's even more fascinating is how these pups interact with their environment. Some researchers believe they may help restore balance to ecosystems that have been overrun with prey species due to the absence of top predators. But the question remains, are they truly dire wolves or just genetically modified grey wolves? And this is the million-dollar twist, because while Romulus, Remus and Khaleesi look like dire wolves, genetically they're hybrids, a blend, a remix, something new. Some scientists argue they're not resurrected dire wolves, but a new species, dire-inspired but not identical. Others insist that if it walks like a dire wolf, hunts like a dire wolf and howls like a dire wolf, it might as well be one. What do you think? Are these real dire wolves reborn, or just high-tech imposters? Let me know in the comments, genuinely curious what side you're on. And here's the bigger question, what happens next? Colossal Biosciences isn't stopping with wolves. They're already working on the woolly mammoth, hoping to release a herd into the Siberian tundra by 2028. They're mapping DNA for the dodo, and soon they'll begin reviving the Tasmanian tiger. This could lead to ecological restoration or total chaos. We're entering a new era, one where extinction might be optional, one where science fiction becomes science fact. And maybe even one where we should ask, are we doing all of this using only a 10% of our brains? What if we unlock 100%? Think I'm kidding? In my next video, I'm revealing some secrets about human brain while breaking down the myths. You can watch that video right here on the end screen. Trust me, if you like this story, you're going to love what's coming next.